Hi everyone, and welcome to the August Tech Talk on electronically signing documents in Acrobat. My name is Lori Kasub, and I'm the Community Manager for AcrobatUsers.com. Today's presentation will review the various ways to electronically sign documents in Acrobat. John will also address some of the most commonly asked questions around Acrobat electronic signatures that are asked quite frequently in the AUC forums. As just a reminder, this Tech Talk is being broadcast voice over IP, so be sure to turn your computer speakers up. And for the best experience during today's session, be sure to use a wired connection, not wireless. And turn off any other computer applications that may take up bandwidth. If you still experience any difficulties, sometimes exiting the room and then re-entering will resolve the problem. This Tech Talk is also going to be recorded, so you can come back and review portions of the demonstration at your leisure. We will also post the on-demand version on AcrobatUsers.com later today. Also, feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A chat pod as soon as the presentation starts. So before we get started, I would like to invite you to answer a few simple questions. We'd like to understand what version and type of Acrobat you use currently today. We'd also like to understand what version, how you use digital signatures, because this will provide John some useful background for his presentation. So I'll give folks a few minutes to answer the questions here. Looks like almost everyone's finished answering the polls, and most of you are using at this point Acrobat 9, the Pro version, with no electronic signatures is being broadcast as most frequently answered part of that question, and then most of it's for business use. So great. We do appreciate your feedback. This will provide John some great information for his presentation. And now I'd like to turn it over and introduce today's presenter. Joining us today from Adobe Systems is John Harris. John is the Product Manager for Electronic Signatures and Security Alliances at Adobe Systems. And I'd like to thank John so much for joining us today. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, John.
Hi. Thank everyone for their time. Let me get this presentation started. As Lori said, I'm the product manager for electronic signatures here at Adobe, which means I actually cover the signature features in Acrobat as well as Reader and in LiveCycle, our enterprise products. So I take a broad look at electronic signatures, and I hope to bring some of that broad view to my discussion with you today. When I was talking with Lori about this Tech Talk, she had provided me a list of frequently asked questions, and I concurred that these were a list of questions that I often received directly emailed to me or through various channels from customers and things like that. And for those of you that are very experienced in digital signatures, I'll apologize because some of these are very introductory questions. But the truth is it's oftentimes the introductory questions that are the most basic to truly understanding the benefits you can get out of the technology. So we'll be covering a lot of these questions today. Obviously, as Lori had pointed out, if any of you have questions that aren't covered by any of these topics, please feel free to jump in. We'll try to get through this before the hour finishes so that we will have adequate time for questions. So with that, I wanted to talk about one of the first questions that may not come up directly. I think a lot of folks think they know what an electronic signature is, but the problem is vendors, including us, don't do very good with the jargon around a lot of technology items, and signatures is one of them. And there are lots of terms that get bandied about. Electronic signatures is really a very broadly defined term. This definition actually comes from the U.S. e-Sign Act, which was put into place in 1999 in the States. The European Union Signature Directive has a relatively similar definition. But as you can see by reading this, it's very vague, right? It's sort of any sort of kind of electronic symbol or sound. It does have to be somehow attached or associated with the record that's being signed. And you have to capture the identity and the intent of the person who's signing it. But if you kind of accommodate those various aspects, you have an electronic signature. So in a lot of ways, electronic signatures is an umbrella term, underneath which you might have signature pad signatures, where you actually have a piece of hardware, much like we do at point-of-sale terminal at the store, or for some banks, they may have a signature pad. Click-through signatures, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Certification signatures, digital signatures, which we'll also cover